Thank you for having me here in Sao Paulo. It's been great so far. As I said, I'm Ashely Ringrose, co-founder of So Creative. I also run Banner Blog, which kind of catalogues online advertising. So I always like to start my talks with a quote, and this is a good one. With great power comes great responsibility. That was Peter Parker's uncle telling Spider-Man. And I think for you guys as marketing managers and advertising agencies, digital advertising is probably the greatest power that you can have right now in advertising. But with it comes great responsibility. And with so many great ways to use technology, it becomes daunting to know where to start. Technology is what drives digital advertising, but the best place to start is a good idea. And I think that's where a lot of people get into trouble, where they find a new piece of technology, or they want to do something on a blog or a social media. They don't think of the idea first, they think of where they want to put it. And so for me, the best place to start is a good idea. And that's where I came, I kind of put this talk together in terms of what to me, when I was judging at Cannes 2008, what got me excited and jealous was the work that started with a good idea. So I'm just going to take you through these quite quickly. The presentation's on the pen drive, so these are better if you explore them at your own pace. I'm just going to tell you what I found exciting about them. First campaign was for mobile, and for me mobile is previously was one of the most boring categories. With the iPhone it's going to change, but this was a campaign called A Blind Call. And basically a blind call is when you put the phone in your pocket and you sit down and you dial the first number on your phone. Has everyone done that? So what this campaign did was get people to change their number, the first number, to a charity's phone number, and when you rang that number, you would donate $1 to the charity. And so it was a way for people to donate without even thinking, just out of a social habit. And I thought that was quite a nice, for me, it made me think differently about mobile advertising. And all these campaigns are going to show ones that made me think differently about how digital advertising can be done. It's not just banners, it's not just content, it's some great ideas. This one is currently down, but HBO Voyeur from BBDO and Big Spaceship. Basically, HBO had finished their big tentpole shows like Sopranos and 6 Feet Under, and they needed a way to kind of re-engage that audience. They put together a very a huge interactive video piece that would also play online, but also as an offline event. And each of these are a different story, and they're all interconnected in some way, which kind of plays on HBO's kind of storytelling history. You can watch this online, you can download it in pieces, you can choose what soundtrack you want. You could have watched it as an event. There was a DM piece, it was played on pay-per-view on HBO. The way they extracted multiple uses out of this one piece of content made me, and the fact that digital was the center of it, got me excited. And this picked up pretty much everything at Cannes. Another one was Read at Work. Colenso BBDO in New Zealand had the brief of how to get people to read more books in New Zealand and how to read more New Zealand authors. So their solution for that was to get people to read at work. So they distributed books, famous books, as PDF files, as PowerPoint files. And even the site here looks like your normal desktop. So you would read a famous classic story as a PowerPoint presentation. So when your boss walks past and sees you reading the presentation, it will look like you're doing work when actually you're reading a famous book. So this is the actual site that's disguised like a website, your desktop. And so these are all the different books you can read, New Zealand authors. So if I open up one, looks like PowerPoint. Again, this is just a website. And they also distributed these as individual PowerPoint files. But for me, this was a really nice solution for the problem. So here, and this is the actual story verbatim. And so your boss walks past, you just say, oh yeah, just doing another presentation. So for me, this type of work was stuff that, not only did it make me jealous, it made me think differently about how we can approach digital marketing. And they had Animal Farm and stuff. Whoops. This one was personally my favorite, Soul Comments, and this one I think would interest IG, Iggy, quite a bit. Basically, Soul was the client. They are a media portal like IG. They ran ads across multiple news sites across Norway. And basically the ads were like AdSense, where it was contextual, where the ads responded to the content on the screen. But they had a 24-hour team, a team of 10 people across 24 hours, updating these ads live. So where the news page would update, talking about, you know, this girl here, Tata, I can't speak any Norways. I can speak as much Norway as I can, Portuguese. But her main article there is responded here and here. So it says, Tata, put the ball in here. It says, no, over here, Tata. And so it's contextually, and then, you know, if you want to know where the ball goes, click here. And so each of the ads, these were done within 5 minutes of that website changing its news content. They had a team live, drawing with a pen, and hit publish, and it went live within 5 minutes. So every article had a personalized message. So here you can see like speech bubbles coming out of his head. I think this one here says, if you know, this team has just won the grand final. If you're one of their fans, click here. If you're not one of their fans, click here. So really contextual, up to date, 5 minutes. This, to me, I haven't seen a live TV ad. I haven't seen, you know, you can't do this with print. It can only be done online, and made me rethink about how banners can be done. This was their how they put it together, their staging system, 24-hour team. So just an amazing piece of work in terms of making you think differently about how banner ads can be perceived and used. Unique Clock. This is one from Japan. Basically, I hope this works. Unique Clock is for Uniqlo, the Japanese clothing brand. They've basically gone from 0 to, you know, a worldwide name within 12, let's say 2 years, purely for only digital marketing. And the brand put together Unique Clock, which is, they describe it as music, dance, and clock. But it's also, you know, it's like a useful kind of irreverent, interactive piece. So it's kind of like art. It's like going into an art installation. But what I like about this is it's Japanese, yet it doesn't feel restrictive Japanese. It's like, it's a global language here. And if I can just get this to load up. The fact is, they also made this, a big part of this was a blog clock, where you can take this and put it onto your blog. For me, that seemed pretty obvious, but when I found out that Japan contributes 30% of all the blog posts in the world, you know, that's a huge insight for them. It's the fact that they can, you know, tap into, you know, 1/3 of all the blog posts in the world are done from Japan. So that was quite a nice insight to use that. And so basically, it's just a series of videos that play every 5 seconds. And they're all wearing the Uniqlo clothes. So it's like subtly, it's a catalogue, it's a clock, it's a dance, it's a piece of art. It's quite you know, it's universally acceptable. You know, it's Japanese, yet not, you know, not excluding people. This one this one's already loaded up. This one for Virgin Bets. So Virgin wanted to promote that they could advertise. You could actually bet on Big Brother. Big Brother's very popular in Brazil. I know, it's a lot more sexy than the Australian one. And basically what they did was, at the eviction night, where they announced these are the 3 people up for eviction, the agency would take those results, produce an ad within 24 hours, and then put that ad online that would respond to that content. So kind of similar to the Soul one, but this time with video. And so basically this is what one you would see. So if you could have sound on this one. Oh, it's going to talk quite fast.
It's done. Hey Virgin Bears, can't be getting freaky with the Rubik's. But here's the deal. Over here on this wall, I have assembled the heads of this week's Big Brother contestants that are up for eviction. Obviously it's not the real heads. I killed them. Okay, there's Carol, Billy and Tracy. Now I will be popping one of their faces with these darts which I hold in my hand. So here's the bet. Which of the Big Brother contestants up for eviction will I burst first? Place your bets now.
So these actual people that are nominated on the ad were actually nominated that night before. And so you're actually betting, you know, the ad was turned around that fast, and it's contextually, if you're a Big Brother fan, this is quite, you know, it's talking directly at you.
Darts, check. Blindfold, kinky.
It's quite good talent.
Here we go.
Doesn't look like a rush job. And for someone who will gamble in a banner, will most likely go on to, go onto Virgin Bets and gamble on the real thing for money.
Does somebody like one? Yes! Billy will slap my cheeky behind with Davina's hand.
And then the call to
Sorry to
action.
burst your balloon, but you ain't all that. You lose. So click here and make a real bet on Big Brother.
So they followed it up with a really nice call to action at the end. You've got a taste for gambling, you go on to gamble for real money. So again, I thought that's very similar to the Soul one. I just thought the fact that you can turn around a video ad within 24 hours is quite amazing. And digital advertising lets you do that. It has there's no need to, get it approved, and big productions, it can be done quite quickly. The last one I want to show, which you should all kind of take in your own time, is Whopper Freakout from Crispin Porter. And basically they hooked up a store in America with a hidden camera and told everyone in the staff that the burger, the Whopper, their famous burger, will not be sold for that day, and they filmed the results. So it's like a hidden camera show. And they released this video online as their main driver, and then subsequently produced TV scenes from it.
This is a regular Burger King. Today, this Burger King is a Whopper free zone. Any customers come in here or go to the drive-thru and ask for a Whopper, they're unfortunately going to be met with a no. It's no longer on the menu. Welcome to the Whopper free Burger King.
I love the Whopper.
It's a great sandwich. It's a fulfilling sandwich.
That's what Burger King is, home of the Whopper.
Recently, we conducted an experiment in a Burger King. The following are the results of that experiment.
Basically, you're going to have people coming in the door. They're going to place an order. We're going to tell them, I'm sorry, we have discontinued the Whopper.
We're not doing this to be mean. We're doing this just to prove a point.
The cameras are hidden. The customers are real. The reactions are authentic.
It's the best burger nationwide.
This is Whopper Freakout.
What? That's your thing, though. The Whopper.
That's our thing, yes.
And it's gone.
And it's gone.
Oh my God. You know you like that. Oh my God.
So what I like about that was not only is it a fantastic piece of advertising, but it would have taken a very brave client to do that. It encompasses, people love hidden camera shows, but it's a PR stunt as well, so they're able to get the PR angle out of it. They're able to extract multiple advertising pieces out of this one stunt that they did. And it really makes you feel like you want a Whopper at the end, because these people really love their Whoppers. And if you watch, there's one guy that almost wants to punch someone. It's quite amazing that someone would want to punch someone. And for me, this could be universal. This could have worked around the world. There's no language barrier here. Could have been done in Brazil, anywhere. So I was also asked to talk about, that's it for work. I was also asked to talk about what was it like being on the Cannes jury, and what was the best part. There was lots of women and the beach. But for me, the best part was talking about other people's work. And I think a day like today is quite important, because normally for myself, all I'm doing is talking about my own work to the client, trying to convince the client to buy the work. If the client gives me any feedback, I take it personally, and then I only talk about their brand. But when I was at Cannes, all I'm doing is talking about other people's work. So I can argue for someone else's work to come up, and if someone knocks it down, I don't take it personally. I can look at it objectively. And it's quite therapeutic to do that. And I think a day like today, when you can talk to other brand managers and other clients and other agencies and discuss campaigns that aren't your own and see other work, it's quite therapeutic. The other part was networking, and this goes especially for people on the jury, because I spent 5 days with 24 other world-class creatives, but also for there was probably more brand managers and press people there than creatives at Cannes. So the actual networking part, where you got everyone from around the world that's all interested in advertising, all talking about it, all drinking, it's quite an amazing networking possibility, and that also leads into inspiration. When you're talking to so many talented people, you can't help but feel inspired. And as a creative, it's always hard to keep your mojo or your batteries at full charge. And taking a week out to speak to other people really helps you recharge your batteries. And I think that's important for everyone, including clients. If you're as a brand manager are feeling down, you're not going to be as acceptable to good work. And also the desserts. I don't actually drink, so when everyone was hitting the gutter bar, I was hitting the dessert bar, and I'm still feeling it now. And they have great strawberries in France. I didn't even know. It was fantastic. I wasn't sure who I was talking to, so I might have been talking to a few agencies. I just had 2 quick tips for entrance in next year. One would be case study videos are very important in terms of putting together a video to sell your work. And if you've got an agency that's submitting your ad to Cannes, make sure they've put together a case study video. This is the sales pitch to the jury. Because I had to look at personally over 500 pieces of work in 2 days, the prejudging, and unless there's a case study video, some of the projects we work on now are so large that it's very hard to convey that in 30 seconds. So if you want your work to win, or you want your agency to do well, get them to do a case study video. And you probably already do that to present to your own bosses anyway later on. And also remove Getty watermarks. There was 3 entries, I won't say who from, that still had the Getty watermark on their work, which obviously is probably not a good idea when you're trying to pass it off as real work. I have to skip this one, it's not working, but it was important to note that file sizes are getting bigger, so you can have banner ads that are 1 meg now, which is bigger than any site I used to work on. But most of the time it's just wasted. It's just over the top. When you get a large file size, you end up just wasting it. So it's important to note that you may have big file sizes, but it all stems back to, is it a good idea? A big flashy idea is not a good idea. I also asked to talk about the digital market. I can only go off from Australian market. The Australian market's similar to probably the Brazilian market. We have about a 10% share, so 3%. We complain about our 10% share of the digital advertising of the advertising market. If you guys only have 3, then my commiserations. Like that's amazing that you're able to do so much work on that small budget. But I wanted to give my insight on the digital market circa 2008. I just read this recently that the web is only 5,000 days old. The internet's a little bit older, but the web as we see it is only 5,000 days old. Consider how far we've come in just 5,000 days. If you went back 5,000 days and told someone I could go onto the web, zoom into my house from a satellite photo, switch to Street View and walk down my street virtually, no one would believe you. They'd think you're crazy, but I can do that right now. Just think of everything you can do right now on the web. 5,000 days ago, that would have been unheard of. So just imagine what the next 5,000 days are going to be like. And the people that are talking now about crazy ideas are the people that are going to be talking when the web's 10,000 days old, how obvious it was. This is probably true in Brazil as well, but there's a lot of media agencies versus creative agencies. This is definitely for a share of, and definitely if only 3% of the market's money is going into digital, the media agencies are fighting with the creative agencies to do work. They're fighting for no reason. They're just fighting over money. They're fighting over tradition, and it's causing a lot of problems in our digital market. Traditional agencies